Adam Montgomery on trial for the murder of his daughter, Harmony Montgomery. And in a bit of a shocking move in some of the opening arguments, his attorney coming out and saying that he acknowledges his guilt on two of the charges, falsifying physical evidence and abuse of a corpse during those opening statements. Here to discuss and what this means for the case, Eric Faddis, attorney. Eric, yeah, this is interesting. Two of the charges, which basically state he had the body, he abused the body, but he's not the one who turned her into a body versus being a living little girl. It's kind of cause and effect here. He's under her care, and a lot of people have testimony and eyewitness testimony stating that, yeah, you are the one who did that. What's the strategy here? What is going on in this case?
Yeah, it was a bit of a head scratcher to me when I saw that he pled guilty to those 2 counts on the eve of trial, pretty much.
Yeah.
Usually what one strategy would be to plead those counts out and then have those counts and the information associated with them severed from a future trial so that the jury wouldn't hear about abuse of corpse and falsifying information, lying to police, that kind of thing. But here it appears that such information has crept into the actual underlying homicide case against Adam Montgomery. And so, did he do himself any favors? I'm not sure. He
Yeah.
kind of more closely associated himself with whatever horrible incident took place. He's admitted he had knowledge of it, and or at least that's a strong inference, and that he gave material aid in trying to cover up the body, which is his dead child.
Yeah.
And so, how is that helping him? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, there of course is that long affidavit that I believe was given by Kayla Montgomery that talks about essentially the chain of custody with the body, where Adam or took it from place to place, and it's extremely grotesque. If somebody wants to read it, it's certainly out there. But is this something where the attorney for Adam said, "Look, you don't have a chance in hell here," and our goal now is simply get these charges as low as they can go, which may ultimately not be very low, but I guess less than eternity in prison, and plead these out or admit to these, and maybe there's some strategy here with the other one. I don't. I mean, or would it have been easier just to say, "Look, I'm guilty. I did this. I didn't intend to kill her. I did. I didn't know what to do. So my dumbass thought, let's put her in a duffel bag and cart her around for the next several months." Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, maybe there are two sort of peripheral benefits to doing this. One is trying to gain some credibility with the jury by Adam Montgomery saying, "Hey, look, I'm admitted to what I did, and I did something horrible when it comes to the body of my dead child, but I did not kill her, and you can believe me because I'm copping to the stuff I did do. So believe me when I say I didn't do the actual murder." The other potential benefit is, I guess, with a judge after conviction, but by Adam at least being able to say, "Hey, I came forward, I took responsibility for what I believe I was guilty of," and then the jury, did what it did on the other charge. Perhaps those are two possible benefits to this strategy, but still a bit unclear.
how do you think this is all going to read to a jury? As this is all presented, and I'm wondering how does it going to read to a jury, and how long of a trial do you think this will be now that we've had these revelations made at the very front?
A jury hearing that a person did something with the corpse of their daughter is it's inflammatory, it's evocative, right? That you have an adverse reaction to that. And a jury is going to as well. Is it going to give him some credibility? I'm not sure about that. I think the trial's going to be pretty short.
Yeah.
I don't think it's some long drawn out saga. I think what they're going to do is put the mother up there, and she's going to blame the defendant, and then the jury's going to decide whether they believe the mother or not.
In something like this, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe you do. In terms of sentencing, is this one of these where the judge makes the decision on the sentence once the verdict is in, or is this a case or a state where the jury actually weighs in on the actual sentence?
I'd have to review the laws for the specific state. Usually, what happens is the judge makes the final call. Sometimes the jury gets to make a recommendation to the
Mhm.
judge in terms of sentence. In a minority of states, the jury actually picks the sentence. But my guess is that the judge is going to have the final say, and it's going to take all of this stuff that we're talking about into consideration.
And is it going to be brought into his mind with any sort of grace, or is this more even inflammatory and insulting to say, I did these parts, but I didn't do these other parts, even though everybody says I punched her and I killed her.
Yeah, is the defendant going to get some, material benefit
Yeah.
from, only covering up this corpse and not allegedly being involved in the death of the child? Judges are going to look at that and say, "Hey, look, you were a material part of this entire transaction, even if you're not admitting to the actual murder." And I think that the judge would max the defendant out on the charges that he did plead guilty to,
Yeah.
and then I guess we'll see what happens with the final murder charge.
Yeah. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks